Hold up, hold up, hold up. It's that boy G Plans. Don't give a damn. He cooler than a fan. Walking real tall. Some say he's a man.
So Big Dave, what's poppin', man? You
What's
you gonna
going
change the
on,
plans,
man?
man? How you feeling?
Man, it's an honor to be here, man. Next big thing coming, so it's an honor to get on here early.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. We've been talking about this since last year, getting you on here, man.
Yeah.
First I want to say Happy New Year to you.
Same to you, brother.
Yesterday was y'all Founders Day, the Cap
Yeah,
Side.
yeah.
You know, I want to
Yeah.
make sure I acknowledge that
Yeah.
before we start. But other than that, how you doing? How you feeling?
Man, just chilling, man. Trying to, come into this new year on a positive note. Trying to regroup. A lot of stuff happened at the end of 2023. A lot of stuff happened all of 2023. So, trying to shake that off, man, and get into 2024 on a positive note.
Yeah. But one thing I want to acknowledge, man, like we had some conversations. You was like,
Yeah.
"Gee, I got some stuff I gotta say." I do, and I say, bro, whenever you ready, whenever we get some time, we gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, and then unfortunately, RIP Reds, that happened, and it kind of pushed us back because we was gonna do it that week.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
now we here, you know what I'm saying? But
Yes, sir.
let's talk about it, negatives, natives. And I want to say to the viewers, man, because there's some people that always be like, oh, gee, you be interviewing all these people. Like you got to come back in your backyard. I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, and I got a stand-up guy from the community that's in front of this camera, man. Tell us about yourself, where you got started. Let's get into it.
Man, I'm born and raised in Natchitoches, family off the back of the square, Payne Street, 420 Payne Street. That's where it started. Everybody back there related. But I grew up on South Side on Airport Road. My whole life, father still live over there. I'm a negative guy.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up. What was it like growing up on the back of the square, then migrating over there where you are?
Well, man, it kind of helped me be who I am today because, with all my family being from the back of the square, of course, you're gonna know everybody. Everybody know you. Growing up on the South Side, it connected me with all those people over there. I actually started school on the east side at Weaver.
Okay.
So I got to meet all those people over there. And going into second grade, they bussed us down to Clutcherville. And I went to Spring Hill, so I got to mix in with all those people there.
Yeah.
So, just growing up, man, I never had a lot of problems with people because I knew everybody. I ain't gonna say I was a popular guy or nothing, but everybody knew my face. I wasn't a tough guy, nothing like that. I wasn't, bullying nothing or nothing like that. So I was just a known face, I guess, and I knew a lot of people.
For sure.
So that kind of kept me out of trouble, kept me out of stuff.
Okay. Well, we talking. I'm originally from the back of the square too, of Amplet and Prather.
Yeah.
But then when my mom passed, I moved to Southtown.
Yeah.
And then when I moved from Southtown, I went to Breedertown. Then I came back to the back of the square.
Yeah.
Then I went to East. But I went to Parks. I'm a Parks baby, so shout out to everybody. But this ain't about me right now. We just having this conversation, man. So man, like what was going to school? What, what I'm saying? You during that time, what was it like?
Man, it was crazy because I have two brothers and a sister. One of my brothers, my older brother, passed away, but I never went to school with my brothers and sisters. Like my older brother, 6 years older than me, and he had Down syndrome, so he always went to a different school. And when it was time for my younger brother to start school, my mama, she was like, well, I'm sending y'all to lab school because I don't want, y'all going down there. But I had been down there for like 3 years, and I ain't gonna lie, I was upset about that because it was like, oh, when he starts school, we coming up here? Yeah. Nah, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. I had already been through the situation of switching schools, so I was like, I want to stay where I'm at. So my brother and my sister went to lab.
Okay.
And they kindergarten through 8th grade lab next center. So, I was at school by myself. Like I wasn't related to nobody on the south side of town, all my family on the west side. And so all those people over there, Southtown, Panhandle, you know, they related.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I'm going to Clutcherville. You got the people from Clutcherville, Melrose, they related.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down there by myself. So I had to learn to humble myself because I had a quick temper at times, but you can't beat up 5, 6 people. So yeah, I had to learn some humility, learn how to keep my mouth shut, not react to everything. So at times it was kind of frustrating, but you know, it made me a better person. It made me, you know, understand how to move around people.
Straight up, man. I get it. Now during that time, like, you know, you going to that school, I'm pretty sure you was around some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, during this time, we got the cameras, we can see the stuff, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it was still people drugging and doing all type of stuff back then, so.
To be honest, I'm glad I went to Clutcherville. You know, it wasn't a school full of angels. You know, you had your stuff going on, but it was a community school. You know, a lot of the people who worked in the school and worked in the lunchroom, the custodians, the teachers, they were from the Clutcherville, Melrose area. So it was a good school. Did I get in trouble? Yeah, you know, just being in that situation. But when I would come over to the west side, you know, to my grandmother's house, man, I saw a lot of stuff. Like early on, I was exposed to drugs and all that, you know, just.
About what age we talking?
Man, 11, 12 years old. Like, and you know, I don't want to say no names.
No, you ain't gotta say no names.
But my cousin, his pops, he was selling drugs. And so we would go to his house and, you know, we just wanted money to go to the swimming pool, get something to eat. But, you know, of course we wasn't gonna ask him for no drugs to sell, but we would count the money and get paid like that. You know, just those situations. Then when you related to everybody, like you go to the projects to sit on the slab to wait till the pool open, they selling drugs right there. You know, it was different back in the early 90s. Like people would sit out on the corner hustling and stuff. We waiting to go to the swimming pool, sitting up under the tree. They selling drugs. You just knew to mind your business, but they wasn't gonna, you know, give you nothing or tell you to do nothing you wasn't supposed to. They more so was watching us, you know, and telling us what not to do, but just being exposed to that. But I never was really interested in drugs like that, man. When they said you can get 5 years for one crack rock, that was enough for me. I'm not, and you know, a uncle that I was close to, that I followed around everywhere when I was little.
By what age? Was this same time?
Nah, this is when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
But one of my first memories I can remember, he came to stay with us. And I can remember he going in the bathroom to take a shower and I'm just waiting outside the door. I don't know why I remember that, but I remember that. But hanging with the wrong crowd and being around the wrong people got him 25 to life in Angola.
Ooh.
So, you know, and that's what my mother would always say. He hanging with the wrong people, he wouldn't listen. So, and talking to him on the phone all my life, it was like, don't come here, you don't want to come here. So I had a fear of going to jail, not a fear of what was gonna happen, but it's like he went and never came home. And I ain't want that to happen to me. I always thought when you go to jail one time, that's it, you never coming back. So I avoided doing anything that was gonna get me sent to jail. And because I saw how my grandmother, how much it hurt her, and I didn't wanna hurt my grandmother, my mother, or anything like that, you know, so I was a kid, so I did some dumb stuff, but I never went head first in the streets behind nothing.
But you know, like right now, during this time, some of those kids look at it like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
I went and did my time. I laid down. I came back out, and I was glorified. Oh, you went and did this, that, and the third. Now you out. But for you, you was like, man, I don't want to do that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Me the same way. I never wanted to get in that. But hey, it is what it is on that part. But during this time, like, I remember because we having a conversation. Like, man, I was young.
Yeah.
And then I think you said your homie had got killed or something. Or?
Yeah, man, when I was like 13, 14 years old in 8th grade, it wasn't like we was best friends and hung out every day, but he would come to our neighborhood and, stuff, and he was older, so, of course, older cat, you kind of want to be around him and stuff, and he ended up getting killed, shot in the head, and
Ooh.
that was the first funeral I can remember going to. I didn't go to the funeral, I went to the wake of somebody that was close in age to me. Like, it took me a long time to get that out of my head. You know what I'm saying? He was just here, now he gone. And again, that put fear in me. And what that did, like, I'll just be honest, once I got access to a gun, like I would carry it out of fear. Like I'm not carrying it because I'm tough.
So at that time, how did you get access to a gun?
Your parents have.
Oh.
And they don't, like, that's what I try to tell people now. Like, you don't, just because your kid's not giving you trouble at home, you really don't know what they doing in the streets when they're away from you. It wasn't like I was walking around pulling the gun out because, honestly, I was scared for anybody to know I had the gun. Mm-hmm. But I was scared to not have it because he got killed. Like, I ain't want nobody to kill me. And so just out of fear, not out of toughness, out of fear of not being prepared or something. But, man, by the time, like, me and my friends, we were good kids. Mm-hmm. We were athletes, but, man, by the time we was 19, 20, everybody had a gun or access to it if they wanted it. And it wasn't to be tough. It wasn't to pull it on people, but it was just, that was the climate. That's why today I'm talking about 2 friends getting killed. Man, every other month a kid getting killed. So, man, I hate they gotta do it or feel like they gotta do it, but I kind of understand. Yeah. A lot of these kids carrying guns out of fear. Mm-hmm. Like,
we go get into that sector. I want to make sure we build this up.
Yeah.
Now the saying, they say, you live by the gun, die by the gun, live by the gun, whatever. So was it in the time? Have you ever like, all right, I got this gun, and I almost got in a situation too?
Yeah, it was 2 times. And actually, the second time what made me stop carrying it. But the first time, we was playing softball at Bubba's, and if you know about that, it get rowdy. Yeah. So I had the gun with me. At this time, I probably was 19, 20 years old. I left it in the truck. We playing softball, I don't need no gun. And my teammates, my homeboys, my brothers, ended up getting into it with some guys on the other team, so they yelling and screaming. When people get to arguing, I don't participate in that, man. I'ma look and see what's going on. So, man, one of the other cats from the other team, he ran to the car. He come back with a bat, like he finna swing. So my homeboy started grabbing bats, and it's a guy, he's standing right there. He bend over and go in his bag. He like rambling through his bag. I know what he gonna get. So it's like, man, I need to get to the truck. But I don't want to take out running. And he right there finna pull a gun and like, what you running to go get? So I'm kind of standing there, and I didn't know, but his wife was watching me watch him. So she telling him like, no, don't do it. So he stood up and like, he was like, they tripping. So he bent over again to get it, and like she kind of looking at me and telling him, don't do it. I guess she thinking I might have something too. And he stood up again, and that's when he kind of noticed me, and he looked at me, and he kind of was like, man, they tripping. And I kind of just shook my head like, nah, man, don't, you know. And what's crazy, when I turned to walk off, one of our other friends, he wasn't playing softball, but he's sitting over on the car. He was like, don't worry about it, I got him. The whole time he had a gun sitting there, watching the dude go in the bag, waiting on him to pull the gun out the bag. So it's like that time I was kind of glad I left it in the truck. And the time that made me stop, like, just carrying a gun, because I knew I was gonna get in trouble. Again, I'm not carrying it because I'm tough, I'm hard, I'm a killer. I'm carrying it because I'm scared.
Yeah.
I don't want to get shot. So I was playing football at Northwestern, and it was over the holiday break. So we going out to the club, and I'm like, man, ain't no out of towners here. I don't need no gun. So I left it at home. I usually had it under the seat of my car, but I left it at home. I was like, I don't need that tonight. So we go in the club, and some of my friends get into it, and I'm trying to break it up. They start fighting. Well, the rule is your friends fight, you fight.
All fight, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going down, and I get hit with a bottle. I at the time, I didn't even know I got hit with a bottle. I just kind of felt something on the side of my head, and like, I turn around, I see the dude running off. And it took about 30 seconds before I realized when I did that and I saw blood, and like, man, I snapped. Cause I'm thinking like I got a big gash in my head, and it's crazy what's going on. I'm like, man, I gotta go home and tell my mama this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm bleeding and I'm looking at the blood. So I end up going to my car looking for the gun. I'm under the seat, like, where am I going? When I stood up, the dude who hit me with the body, he's standing right there. If I'd have had that gun, you know, so.
It would have changed your life. That's right.
And so I was like, man, this stupid. I ain't, you know, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I don't want to go to jail, so it's better off for me to like just kind of rethink when I'm carrying the stuff in. You know, again, parents, we were the good kids. We wasn't causing no trouble, but like I say, we all had access to guns, or we had guns by the time we was 19, 20 years old.
So I wanna go back. All right, when you was young, you experienced a guy you knew getting shot in the head. You went to a funeral. You've experienced almost getting into an altercation and possibly have to shoot somebody, and you talking about your mom. Like, what was going on through her head when your friend passed, or you had this altercation at the club? You young, 19, 20 years old. Like, what was going on with that? Like,
she didn't know. She knew about the friend passing, but like, what was going on with me outside the house, she didn't know. That wasn't hard to hide. And it wasn't like I was running around the streets being disrespectful. Like, I wasn't disrespectful at all. And again, I was scared for even my friends. I didn't tell them I got my gun on me, because they probably gonna make me use it, or they gonna want to use it. So, but she didn't know none of that. If she heard anything, she would question me about it, but I wasn't getting in trouble and putting myself in bad situations. Like, again, I saw my uncle go to jail because, you know, they telling me.
Yeah, but I wanna commend you for the discernment you had too.
Yeah.
At that age, 19, 20, you can't think with logic like that. Not at that age.
Yeah.
And the fact that you, all right, I'm gonna make this decision, I'm gonna stay here, stuff like that. Like, I want to commend you, because he's like, I'm comparing you to a younger person today.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would have been total left.
Yeah. Oh, God was, on me, bro. God God protected me, man. He kept me out of a lot of situations by just putting something in my head, say, stay home.
Yeah.
So I ain't taking no credit for nothing in my life. God did it. You know what I'm saying? So, and my mother prayed, my grandmother prayed. So, and like I say, I never wanted to disappoint them. I never wanted to have to call and be like, I'm in jail. Because I had cousins that had to make that call, and I saw the look on their face, so it was like, nah, I ain't doing that.
But a praying mother and a praying grandmother is powerful.
Yeah.
And one thing you let me know, we exchanging notes and stuff. You was like, I guess you had to step up early to take care of your mom.
Yeah.
Taking care of housing and stuff like that. Like you had to grow up quick. Can you reflect on that time when you had to do certain things to take care of your family?
Yeah, man. Again, like I said, I had an older brother, but he had Down syndrome. So, and 6 years older. So when I'm 12, he 18. My younger brother is 6 years younger. So like at 12, he's 6. My sister is 1. So I'm in the house with 3 other kids, but I'm getting told to do everything. So at 12, you don't understand that. You like, man, y'all treat me like a slave. So that kind of built up some anger in me, some resentment. And my mother, let me say, I wasn't physically abused, mentally, emotionally, sexually. I wasn't no type of abuse, but I was like, as long as I can remember, my mama always told me, mama got, papa got, God bless the child got his own. So it's like, be responsible, get it yourself. So my mother never really babied me. You know what I'm saying? And I know now why she didn't. And they would tell me, you're not the oldest, but you are the oldest. Because your brother, you can't do what you can do. But again, I'm a kid, I don't want to hear that. Like, man, let them do some of this work. But at 11, 12, my mother, she ain't pulling no punches. She started telling me the truth. And like, not intentionally, but just by her being honest, she kind of turned me against my pops. When your mama sit you down and say, okay, check this out. This what I make, this what your daddy make, this what the bills is, your pops in the streets, so I gotta pay all this. What you gonna look, when she say you can have what you want, y'all could be getting what y'all want, but everything on me, I'm gonna start looking at my daddy crazy. So that's kind of what happened. And she started telling me like when I was like 12, I'm leaving, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna need your help, I'm gonna leave. But you hear that so long, you like, ah, man, whatever. And I just wasn't paying attention to it. And one day I got off the bus walking home, she was leaving. So that was crazy because like she had been telling me and like, boom, she was doing it for real. But my 2 brothers and my sister, they leave, I kind of felt guilty. I didn't want to leave my daddy by himself. So I stayed. But I'm 15 at this time. But at the same time.
So they separated?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was 15. I remember what I had on, getting off the bus, everything. So I can't leave my mama over here by herself. So that started a pattern of me going back and forth between my mom and daddy. And like my mama straight up told me at 15, like, you the man in the house, I need you to be grown. I need you to do what you gotta do.
So you didn't have a regular childhood like everybody else, and all the kids getting everything they want, shoes, this, that, and the third, they ain't gotta worry about nothing. You really making grown man decisions.
Yeah, and I ain't fronting on my parents like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We got new clothes, school clothes and stuff, but I also had a desire, like I wanted to be grown.
Oh.
I wanted to be independent. I wanted to do, because that's what they told me. Like, when you get your own house, you can make your decisions. When you got your own money, you can buy what you want to buy. So it was like, I gotta hurry up and become grown. So when she told me that, I took it serious. And you know, I had to do what I had to do. And the same, like my daddy never told me, but he went from my mama doing everything, now he gotta do it. So he going to work, you know, he don't have time to go pay bills, so I'm paying bills. Not that I'm making the money to pay the bills, but I gotta keep up with his bills. And like, yo, we need to pay this, we need to pay that. I gotta go do everything for my mama. So it's like, at 15, 16, I was the second in charge of 2 houses.
God dog.
You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because I was talking to my auntie about that, Jeezy mama, a few weeks ago, and she was like, I didn't know that. But I thought that was normal. I thought that's what I was supposed to do, because I wanted to be grown, and I wanted to be responsible, and I wanted to be respected. And I didn't know I was cheating myself. My parents, like, to the point where I stopped asking for stuff, like, I'm grown, I can get it. Because that's what they told me. That's how you get respect, when you can go out and work and do for yourself. So from 15 to now, I ain't never really asked nobody for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I will give my pops credit. Like, if he called me and I say, yo, I'm sick, man, my head hurting, like, he gonna bring medicine, he gonna bring food, like, and that's the crazy thing. I was grown before I realized, man, I could've acted like a kid this whole time. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what I wanted to do. Like, my brothers and my sisters, they got babied, but I was in a rush to grow up.
And that was the decision you made, basically.
Yeah, and they kind of, because my mother, she was the third of 11 kids. So at 17, she out the house. You got 8, 9 people behind you. You can't sit around, you know what I'm saying? My father, his mother died when he was 4. He went to live with his aunt. She passed away when he was 7, so he in foster care. Like, my parents grew up having to take care of themselves and having to be responsible. So, you know, that's what they knew, responsibility. And it's like, oh, you want to be grown? Okay. And they saw I can handle it. Okay. But it ain't like, I'm not trying to say they had me out there working, paying bills. Nah, it wasn't never nothing like that. But the responsibility, you know, of this house, anything you can handle, you gonna handle.
You're right. Now I want to highlight this. You know, we talked about both of your parents, but I know you told me around with 2021, your mom passed.
Yeah.
How did that affect you?
Man, when you lose your mother, you find out if you're ready for this world. Because it's people in jail who've committed heinous crimes. Their mama still answer the phone for them, still send them money. So, and it affected me bad, because we were just getting to that point where she said, she was saying, okay, you a man, you what I raised you to be, I trust you. And I'll say, even from 15, 16 years old, when she told me she wanted me to be the man in the house, she listened to my opinion. She was still my mama, could do what she wanted to do, but she listened to me. But it was like around that time, instead of even, she just started letting me make it good to, I was making her proud, and she was trusting me like that. And boom, she got taken away. So it's like now in life, like graduations and everything that's supposed to be happy, I don't really be feeling it. Like wedding and all that, man, it's like she not here to witness it. She not here to see what I became, to see what she created. So that messed with me.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, losing a mom would do that to you. I lost my mom when I was a baby though.
Yeah.
I was a baby, so.
And that's why I don't complain, because I had a pops who lost his mom at 4. He can't even remember his mama. My brother was 15, my sister was 11. I got 21 years, so that's why I never complained about it. Somebody always got it worse, you know what I'm saying? And she didn't suffer, so it happened quick. I was there with her, you know, so yeah.
Okay, let's switch it up a little bit, man. When did you decide to take interest in taking care of kids?
Because that's what my mama did. My mom and my aunties, you know what I'm saying? And so, but when it really hit me, my mama had she started wanting to do foster kids. And a social worker came to the house, like a social worker. So I remember talking to her, like, what are you doing? She was like, I find kids homes, make sure, you know, everything's straight in the house. And I was like, man, that's what I want to do. And actually, that's what I went to college to do, but it didn't work out like that.
Oh, you went for social work initially?
Yeah, but at that time, the only schools that were offering masters were like LSU and Grambling and
SFA was too, I think.
But my mother had passed away by then, and I didn't want to leave my brother and sister, so I was like, you know. But everything happened for a reason.
Yeah. Most definitely. So you was working at the recreation center.
Yeah.
And before your mom passed, and then after she passed, you decided to.
I started working at the recreation center in 1999. I was 19 years old, and I'm still there now.
Oh, straight up. Straight up.
Yeah, I've done every job in the recreation department, man. I went up to Mr. Elton Wade and I was like, man, I need a summer job. She's like, can you swim? I said, yeah, you can be a lifeguard. Okay. And man, I just learned how to lifeguard, and from there I worked under Frank Griffin and Kendrick Lawrence, then Chris Lawrence. In between that, I was the interim director, but I kind of knew I had something else I wanted to do, so I didn't want to be the director. And now Coach Warner is up there, and I like to tell people, man, a lot of people don't go up there and talk to him because, and I'm just gonna be honest, you know, they feel like white guy ain't gonna help them. Most helpful guy, man, if you go up there and talk to him, man, he help you any way he can. So, you know, get out of that, man. And Blake, you know, he's the assistant director, Blake Dotson. Same thing, help you any way he can. But yeah, I've been there since I was 19.
Okay. Now tell me this, man. 1999. Oh, I was 9. Listening to Cash Money and them, Soulja Slim them, stuff like that, Pat and all that. But when I'm trying to bring up, like, you've seen kids from different walks of life.
Yeah.
From then to now. You being a leader, being sculpted as a leader, giving direction and stuff like that, like can you reflect on the type of people you've been around, what you've seen, who you've seen, stuff like that?
Man, it's crazy. You know, I'm 44 years old, and like I say, I started when I was 19. I started at the MLK pool right there by the project. So I'm knowing every kid in the projects. So it's crazy that some of them same kids that was at the pool, I'm dealing with their kids now. And I would hear people say that, but it's weird for me to be in that position now. But it's like now, the difference is kids still had a certain kind of respect back then. But now, if they respect you, they respect you. But if they don't,
they don't.
Like back then, if you was just in this position, okay, I gotta respect that position. Now, man, I don't care what position you in. Who are you? So it's just to watch it change. It's like 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, they would come into the swimming pool. They were swimming every day. Now I'm looking at 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, I can tell they smoke weed every day. Lips black, you can just see it in their face. And it's crazy to see a 16, 17-year-old kid, they look older than you because the drugs drying them up. Like, they don't understand, they think they smoking just weed, man, but they smoking so much more than just weed. It's dangerous.
They popping pills.
Yeah.
And man, you seeing all this stuff. I remember we was having this conversation. You was like, man, I see these kids, man, and you try to tell them, but some of them going through some stuff, and you were like, I don't know if you was reflecting on your days. You was at I don't know, were you working at Central? Was it Central? Or what school you were working at? Or working at now? Like when you was,
the alternative school.
The alternative. All right, that's where you were at.
Yeah.
All right. What was it like coming from the recreational center, which you're still there, but going to the alternative school with those type of kids? Because when you go to MLK, summertime, just cool kids, people doing their stuff, and then alternative school is a place for kids that are out of line and stuff like that.
Again, it didn't affect me the way it might affect somebody else because I knew those kids from the MLK Center. And I actually, when I started teaching at LP Vaughn. So I knew the kids. So they knew me. It was an understanding. They know I'm from where they from. So I never had trouble with kids like that. But if it was 20 young men at that school at that time, 15 of them murdered somebody, got murdered, or both.
Wow.
And like, I can look at their faces now, and I remember when it happened. I was telling you, that's when the youngsters turned up with the guns. It was a situation, one of my homeboys, but he like my brother and another friend, they were like this, they hung together all the time. And they end up having a falling out, and rule of the streets, mind your business. So I stay out of it, I kind of know what it's about, and I probably could have squashed it quick, but that ain't my business. I'm gonna stay out of it. I ain't passing no messages. And I really didn't think it'll go that far. I was like, they'll make up on their own.
Like, how far did it really go?
It went all the way there. Yeah. One day, I'm at my homeboy house and kind of talking about it. And I'm kind of telling him, hey, man, y'all need to chill out. And so the friend pull up and guns get drawn. And I'm in the middle. And again, I want people to understand I'm not tough, I'm not hard, none of that. But the only reason I didn't move is because I felt like if I moved, they was gonna kill each other. They was gonna start shooting. So I'm in between them, begging them, hey, y'all chill out. So, that situation go, and I'm sitting at work, and I'm like, man, I gotta stop there. I gotta make them stop. And something telling me, call your homeboy now. I'm like, nah, I just call him. When I just go by there when I get off work. Well, I didn't call him, and like an hour later, not even an hour later, I got a call. Yo, your homeboy been shot, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, what? And if I would have made that call, I feel like...
You probably would have stopped it or something?
Yeah, I would have been on the phone with him when it started and could have said, don't do this, don't do that. Or he would have known I just talked to him and would have, hey, but I didn't act when God told me to act, and the situation happened and someone lost their life. But the thing I remember, because some of those kids at that school was involved in it, and the thing I can remember, the one kid who had a gun and was shooting in that situation, when he came back to school, they treated him like a celebrity. Like, it wasn't, oh, he shot somebody, I'm scared of him. It's like, man, my son a shooter. It was like joy.
All the kids embraced him?
Yeah, and they like, man, you know, he was a celebrity. And looking back on it was over with. It was like all of them, if he did it, I can do it, and they went out and did it. Like I say, if it was 20 boys at that school, 15 of them killed somebody, got murdered, or both.
And you seeing this, you know, continuous cycle going, these kids doing this, doing that, like, which one of these killings, yeah, I mean, of course we ain't saying no names, like just stung you, like just like, I couldn't, man, it took you down. I can say hurt, whatever words you want to use.
2 of them. That one I'm just telling you about now, that I feel like that was 2008. That was March 2008. I feel like that made the kids say, okay, we all gonna start carrying guns, just like I said.
And then we got to take into account the internet.
Yeah.
Because the internet was taking, I would say 08, then Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then all this stuff. So social media play a big part in it as well, but carry on.
Then August 2018, double homicide. That one, if the city was a piece of paper, it took the city and did that. And it's been on and popping ever since. On and popping, so, and 95% of the stuff that's happening, you could trace it back to that if you know, and it's just that one, and it was another one. It was a kid, I'll say his name because Elijah Thomas, innocent, no reason to be killed. I remember I don't want to get my days wrong. I think it was on a Friday. That morning I saw him, he had on a hoodie. You can't wear hoodies to school. We at Central, you can't wear the hoodie. But Elijah was such a sweet kid, I didn't want to tell him to take his hoodie off, so I let him go all day with it. And at the end of the day, I'm pushing the kids out to school. Let's go, let's go. Elijah walked by, so I called his name, and he kind of halfway turned around, and I just kind of do this, and he shook his head like, yeah, I know, I got you. And so I think that was a Friday. That Monday, 6-something in the morning, get a call. We had a homicide over in Highland Park. We can't identify the kid, but he looks high school age. Can you help us? So, in my mind, you can't identify him. That means he don't get in trouble. So I'm like, that got to be somebody that's not from here. But okay, I can help y'all. When I see, I'm like, yo, that's Elijah, but that can't be him because nobody want to kill him. He's not in the streets. They like, nah, we don't think that's him. Say, I'm telling you, that's him, but it can't be him. It must be a cousin or a brother or somebody that look just like him. But that's where you need to check. So they, all right, like 30 minutes, they called me back. You were right, it was him. So like, word started spreading through the school. He got a friend that the only person the kid talked to was Elijah. He didn't talk to nobody else. So I don't want him to hear this in the hallway. So I called his parents, like, yo, this what happened. You mind if, we pull him out of class and cool. So we got the counselors there and everything, man. And we tell the kid, and it's like you can see it hurt him, and like, man, I lost it. You know what I'm saying? Because that kid ain't deserved it, man. And the only thing that just kept me from losing it more than what I did, they caught the person who did it, and it was just another kid. So what you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? But that one that hurt, because that kid wasn't in the streets, he wasn't bothering nobody. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they took his life. He didn't deserve that, man. And yeah.
Man. And we having these conversations, man. What can the parents do to help or to prevent this stuff that's going on? And it's going on everywhere, not just to sit and nag. It's just we just talking about here, but it's going on a lot of different places. Like what can they do? I mean, these kids are minors.
This when we finna get real with it.
Oh, get real, cause I mean,
man, we gotta stop raising our sons to be heartless. We raise them that way. I mean, compare them to how you raise your daughter. When your son a baby, you got your daughter, you kiss her daddy, baby. You say, I ain't kissing my son. He a boy, he don't need to be kissed on. Why not? He yours. Even a lion in the jungle nuzzle up with his cubs. Can't kiss your son. Kids start walking. When your daughter fall, you pick her up, you kiss her, Bobo, oh, it's gonna be all right, baby. Your son fall, boy, get up. Stop that whining. So what you showing him at his most impressionable age is when he fall, you ain't gonna be there to help him. So when he crying, your daughter cry, come tell daddy what's wrong. Your son, boy, stop all that crying, I don't wanna hear that. So now you telling him he can't cry. If he laugh and happy, your daughter laugh and happy, look at my baby, she's so sweet, she's so happy. Your son do it, boy, stop being silly. So now he can't laugh. When he hit puberty, you start telling him about how he gotta get out your house because he's smelling himself and all this. Don't your daughter have a baby in high school, what people say, I don't care what you do, you gonna finish school. Your son get a girl pregnant in high school, you going to work, I ain't taking care of no baby. So you telling him you can't laugh, you can't cry, you can't be happy, but the minute he ball up his fist as a little kid to show he not scared and want to fight somebody, look at my boy, he ain't scary. What you teaching him, how you gonna get your love and affection?
You turning him into a monster.
Yeah, you can't laugh, you can't cry. At 18, I'm done with you. Man, I wasn't ready to leave no house at 18.
I know, I thought I was, but I know I
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we gotta start, our son, these 16-year-old, they babies. These 20-year-old, they babies. These 21, 22, they babies. They our babies. We gotta start treating them like they our babies. Stop rushing your son to be a man. I'm looking at, I wanna live to be 80 something. So you gonna tell me at 18, for the rest of my life, I'm on my own? What 16, 17-year-old know really what they want to do for the rest of their life? They ain't supposed to have it together. But you telling them, oh, you ain't got it together while you 18, you gotta get up out of here. We raising killers. You gotta stop it. Gotta stop it. Gotta start, they're my babies. And that's what I, like at that school, I tell them, I love you. The ones who in the streets, I sit them down, I talk to them, I'ma cry in front of your face and tell you, I don't wanna see you dead. And I tell them, I'ma shed these tears now, cause I ain't coming to your funeral. I don't look at no kids in no casket. And they look at me, I'm just telling you.
And that didn't happen, literally.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I'ma cry where you can see them. You got me in here crying cause you don't wanna listen. because I know what's gonna happen to you. And it have been times, a week, 2 weeks later, that same kid, gone. So, and I can't go, I'm not going to no funeral and look at no, that's a baby in a casket. I'm not doing it.
Man.
So, and it's like, the other day I was at the Lakeview game, I saw one man, got shot, he made it. And like, man, when I saw him, cause I didn't know really what was going on, and he was one I dealt with a lot. They put my arms around him and hugged him. And I told him, I smell that weed on you, but you alive. I ain't gonna fuss at you about that right now. So, but, yeah.
Man. And you seeing all this stuff, man, like, you gotta think what these kids are going through. Yeah. Now, we going to school, I've never knew a dude gotta really worry about somebody trying to kill him at school. I've never experienced it. But you, on the other hand, you got kids that got stuff going on. They gotta come to school, and then some of them can't come to school because they can come to school, but something gonna happen. Or man, it's the guy that I got an issue with. I might as well handle it right here because if I don't handle it right here, he gonna try to do this. Like, you seeing all this stuff, man. Like,
that's what happened. Like, kids fight at school because ain't no guns at school. So I'm gonna take my anger out at school. Like, they come back to school on Tuesday. Got to be on high alert because some of them been beefing these whole 2 weeks. They've been out of school. They've been beefing. Something that happened. Somebody done said something at the fireworks. Somebody got on Instagram, said something. So they wait until they get back to school. They ain't gonna go to nobody's neighborhood, and they not gonna do that. It's guns over there. But they gonna walk in that school and they gonna get it on. And that's how they just want to get they fight and get they lick. And that it's crazy. But it's hard being, like, you can ask any educator, anybody working in education that's really talking to these kids, because you gotta be careful because you don't want to get in the middle. And that's why a lot of them trust me, because I don't get in their business like that. Mm-hmm. They know I know what's going on, but I can't afford to get in it because I can't pick no side. It was two young men. Like, man, both of them got a spot in my heart. One of them shot up the other. He ain't kill him, but he shot him up. And this is about 3 years ago. But I never talked to neither one of them about it. I can't say nothing about it. I gotta stay out of it. Because they gonna tell you pick a side. You want to talk, pick a side. So you just gotta show these kids you love them, but it can't be no 1 or 2 people showing them they love them. Man, parents, you need to be honest.
Talk to them, let them know.
You gotta be honest. You know your kids. If they friend
not my baby.
Yeah.
That's what they gonna say.
If they friend got killed, you think they friend was doing something they ain't doing? You need to sit down and ask your kids, have you killed somebody? Have you tried to kill somebody? Do some people want to kill you? You know if they lying.
Now let me say this, bro. I'm gonna let you go and say what you're gonna say. But the fact that now the conversation came from initially, well, it started, are you having sex? Are you sexually active? What are you doing? Now is you gotta ask your kid if he or she or then kill somebody.
You better. Because that can affect that. Your life depend on it. They siblings' life depend on it. You better see what's going on with them. And you need to have that conversation. I can't tell you what to do after you get the information. I really don't know. You know your circumstance. Everybody can't afford to send their kid away, stay with somebody else. Everybody ain't got nowhere to send them. But, man, some of these kids hopeless, and I'm not guessing that. I'm telling you what I done been told. Like, you ever seen a 7-year-old say they hate their life?
No.
How can that, but like real life, 7-year-old, I hate my life. You ain't lived. You a baby, but you hate your life. What that kid gonna be, man?
Ooh. Yeah. So, I mean, what's the solution? I mean, is it the fathers, the mothers, the education system? Like, I mean, what? I mean, I don't want to point the finger.
It's a mix of everything.
Okay.
But like we was talking about earlier, it's gonna take a lot of different things, but the main thing we gotta stop doing is complaining when the police do their job.
Tell us about that.
Because like I said, you gotta have that conversation. Have you killed somebody, tried to kill somebody, somebody want to kill you? If the answer to any of that is yes, then you gotta know the police coming after your kid.
Now, put it like you saying that, and we was talking earlier, and you was like, man, if my son did this in the third, he got to go lay down. He got to do what he got to go. But some parents won't accept it.
Nah, man, you out here killing people, shooting 2 and 3 people. Man, you gonna get to the point where you gonna want to kill me. Like, and that's just conversations. That's what my daddy taught me. Like, you told me, you get to killing all these people, man. You don't want to be around nobody that can just kill people easy, because they'll kill you. Like, you know, so we got to let the police do their job. I know people, the police don't do it. But again, I'm Davin White, I ain't Charleston White. I ain't telling nobody, because I ain't never lived nowhere else but Louisiana. So I don't, rich, poor, black, white, we all taught one thing early on: don't be a tattletale. Everybody taught that. Like, it'd be funny when people say, white people knows it, they want to go see what's going on. Not the white people I know. They get out the way and mind their business. So, like, we different. But, man, if you ain't willing to go tell and take no stand, stop hollering about them people doing their job. You know what I'm saying? Just, it is what it is. If you ain't willing to do that, then you saying you don't care. And like, my brother just got killed. They caught the guy that night, but if they didn't, I'm not gonna be out looking for him to kill him, but I'm trying to find out where he at. He over here in his house. Y'all need to come get him. You know, they say he was here. Y'all need to go check. So even if they call me and need me to, if it's something I can say, I'm gonna say it. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? So my love for him greater than your opinion of me. Like, if they tell me they need me to take the stand, I'm getting up there. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna disrespect him and say no, I ain't doing that for you. Nah.
But see, if you follow this street code, that you don't supposed to do that. But they're gonna shame you, or you told, or even if you're a civilian, like me, we civilians. But if you saying, man, look, if the police need my help, and something happened to my brother, you know, we go. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna cooperate, whatever the case may be. But these kids, they not talking to the police.
Nah, they not. And
in that manner,
they not. And if you're not gonna talk to the police, then you gotta understand why it's not being solved. And my philosophy on it is, if you Billy Badass and you ain't scared of nobody, why you won't go tell? I'm not tough, but something happened to somebody I love, and I know I'm going to tell. And whoever don't like it, when I come out that courthouse, we can, however you wanna, but I ain't to keep, I'ma not tell on you so you can have a favorable opinion of me. You killed somebody I love. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care what nobody else's opinion is. I ain't trading places with you. I ain't going to kill you so I can be the one sitting in a jail cell. I ain't doing that. But like when I say, like I was telling you earlier, the Italian Mafia, the baddest criminal organization ever in America, for decades, all through Prohibition, through the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 80s. They would kill people broad daylight, walk in a restaurant, shoot them up, blow their brains out, in a car, in a barber shop, everywhere. The government came up with something called a RICO. And what happened to that? You can't get nobody to say that in the mafia no more. John Gotti was on the cover of magazines before all that, saying he the Dapper Don. You knew who all the crime bosses were. Nah, you can't get nobody to admit that. Is the mob still shooting people up?
They probably are, but
it ain't like it was.
Yeah.
Our people get a RICO. Free them. They was the one terrorizing your neighborhood. You couldn't go outside because they was doing what they was doing. Man, we want justice, but we don't want nobody to go to jail.
How that work?
It ain't gonna match. You gonna have to give up something. And at 20, was you getting me to tell on somebody? No. So I understand that. I'm not, but man, it gotta break, it gotta give somewhere. And in negatives, when the last time, I know what it is, when the last time a 16-year-old white kid killed another 16-year-old white kid, shot him?
I can't remember if it ever has happened.
And the last time a white kid it was a kid out there at the boat launch, he got stabbed. You know what I'm saying? But we around here like doing it every other month. Like, come on, man.
And it's a lot of stuff that goes on that don't make the news. We hear about it.
Yeah.
And hey, man, boy, they was shooting all this such and such last night. Yeah.
It only make the news if somebody get hit. But we like social evolution. We not as far along in our social evolution as our white counterparts. Because when, again, they came to this country because they was oppressed in their country. So they came here looking for a better way. But before the 1960s, 70s, the most famous outlaws was white males. Black men wasn't, a slave ain't going nowhere committing no bunch of murders, he's a slave. The Wild Wild West, Jesse James, Butch Cassidy, Billy the Kid, all them, they white males. Even during that time, we were the workforce, sharecroppers. We wasn't killing each other. Then you get into the 1920s Prohibition, when the mob took off. Those were white males. We were still the workforce. We didn't have civil rights. So if I own a factory, the people I'm gonna put in management, this 1930, I'm gonna hire my son, my brother-in-law, and I'm gonna put them all in management positions. The jobs down here, I'm gonna get them to black people, because the white guy, he want $10 an hour. I can pay that black guy $5 an hour because he can't be part of the union. He can't ask for no promotion. If I pay this white guy, he gonna want a promotion. He gonna want to start running my company. So they were hiring black people. Black people had to have their own stores because we couldn't go into white stores. Black people wasn't going to jail. They wasn't. okay, we got civil rights, everything equal. Get a job to white people. I'm gonna get a job to somebody, So boom, we start turning up. 70s, here come the gangs and all that. 80s, we doing the same thing white people was doing in the 5 Points in New York. We killing each other because just like they got their freedom from their oppressor or whatever, but they wasn't ready for it. Same thing happening with us.
So what does the government, what part do they play in it?
I mean, they know what to do because they had to do it before with the white criminals. But we not gonna let them do it. That's the thing. We not at the point where we gonna let them do it. You ever seen the movie Gangs in New York?
I don't recall. If I did, I don't remember.
Watch that movie. They wouldn't let the government do what they had to do either. It was 5 points. I think it was for like a span of 15, 20 years in the 5 points. Every night at least one person died. These was all white males. Black people was down here in the South working in the fields or up there in them factories working. So the government know what they had to do to cease all that, but we ain't gonna let it happen.
So we're talking about the southern region, northern region. We know, and I can't quote no numbers, that Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, 3 top worst states in America. Education is poor, healthcare poor, job security, all these factors. So when you look at those stats, whatever their stats may be, like, that plays a part into what goes on with the people as well. Now, we love our city, we love our state, but we free to go. We're free to try to go find better opportunities and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's plaguing your community. Kids can't really read, they're not going to school, they're not listening. Overall, and due to your expertise and your knowledge about what's going on, like, what type of, or what step can we take towards a solution to making that better, to improve one stat?
We turning it around in negatives.
Talk to us.
We, for the first time in history, we don't have any failing schools. Our high school, Negative Central, is the top school for growth in the state. We grew more than any other school in the state of Louisiana. We have people coming in, to help us keep that growth going and stuff. But again, there's a lot of factors, but if we can get this school system turned around, if we can get all our schools to A and B schools, then business will want to come here. Opportunity will want to come. If you had your kids and you was in Dallas out there going to one of those schools, 5,000 kids, top rated school, all the amenities and everything, and you working for a company and they tell you we need to go open a business in Natchez, Louisiana, and you look and all the schools failing and it don't have this, you gonna want to bring your family? Nah, you ain't gonna want to do that. So we turn it around. We got to get our school system, but we need the help of the people outside the school system, of the parents. School ain't just about what the teacher's doing.
Yeah, like you were saying, we were talking about the school and improvements and things of that nature. I did not know that Negative Central was improving like that. I had no idea.
We're A school.
That's great.
A school, man, and we got kids, it's becoming a challenge. Kids are, excited about making the highest score on the ACT, and, when our kids go to college, they graduate, they stick with it. It's a kid, and you probably know him, Jamal and Page.
Page, he sound familiar. Who is people off?
Jermaine Bergwin is his dad in.
Right off the bat. Yeah.
Like, man.
Off Emily Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm I'm proud of this kid, because I don't want to just talk about the negative, but he turned his life around and started believing in what he was doing and understand what he had to do. And he came back to school, graduated. He got in a program with Marco, woodworking program, and now he's working at Marco, man. Like, he completely turned his life around. So, like, any chance I get, I like to talk about him, man. I'm proud of him, and he's the type of kid got a lot of charisma. And I look for him, man, in 5 years to be a supervisor out there at Marco. Like, he got that type of personality. But we got a lot of kids who come in and they starting to turn it around and they want to be a part of the success. But again, we need the parents to back us up. And, man, if a lot of people hate to hear about needing more money and this and that, but man, when we putting this money into the school, it's gonna benefit our kids, and it's gonna come to that time where we gonna need more money because we trying to grow, we trying to do things. You're A school, you gonna have to have A school amenities.
Yes.
And stuff so the kids can work on. So I just ask parents not to beef about that. Be supportive of it. I mean, if it's $100, $150, equal out $100, $150 a year that every working adult got to give, it's worth it, man, because it's gonna benefit the kids. And I'm not saying I know for a fact that's what's gonna happen, but when you trying to grow, at some point you're gonna need the help from your community.
Now I want to say this. We're talking about the school system. When it comes to the core curriculum, right? I don't know what it is now. I graduated high school 2008. When I got to Nagin Central 2004. I was in shop. I did shop class in NJH. So 2006, 2007, we had that class. Home ec, we had that as well. I learned how to change the tire at Nagin Central. We had a class. We had that. We did other things. I can't remember what actual class it was, but my point is that we was changing tires, we was cooking, we had the option to do the plumbing. And I think electrician, to be an electrician, I think we had a certification class there. Because it was like the tech schools across the street, but they had it at school as well. But I don't remember which class it was now. I don't know what's going on today, but I'm not hearing about home ec. Is that still available?
We still have home ec. We have EMS classes where kids can get their certification. Last month, one of the teachers I had to observe, they were teaching electrical work, and I'm looking at kids knowing how to wire. Basically, they're gonna be able to wire a room or wire a house. We're eventually we have kids that still go across over. It's Bipsy now. But I think in the future, Nagin Central is going to be a lot more involved with what's going on over there. I don't want to overspeak. But I think, And
what about the STEM program? Are y'all implementing that into the school as well?
The STEM program, what's that?
Well, I know it's about the actual kids doing coding, mathematics. That's the only thing I've heard about it.
I know at the junior highs, they have some robotics and stuff, and we have different teams. The biggest problem is we we want to do everything, but finding people.
Science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is. Okay.
Yeah, just finding people to teach, that different stuff. But the door's wide open, man. Like,
okay.
It's you have a superintendent who's, interested in new programs and allowing schools to grow. Mm-hmm. We have some great principals who, are really there for their kids and their staff. So we're growing in the education system, but like I said, we still need the help of the parents. We can't do it by ourselves. If it's no more than just sitting there with your kid while they doing their work, making sure they doing it, but we're gonna be successful. We're a school, and we're looking to go higher up the ladder. Yeah.
Okay. Now I have another question. How can the schools obtain more students now? Because when I left Negative Central, we had a big class. I know half our class dropped out, but we had a big class, like 500, I think, 400 or 500. And now it look to me, and I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've been in school. I've been seeing like, dang, like school don't look too packed today, or it's like the enrollment is decreasing. And then I was told that Lakeview was going to a 1A. I don't know how true it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I hadn't heard about that.
I don't know how true it is, but my thing is, my ultimate point is that, or question is that, how can we obtain these kids and make sure, like, all right, I want to go to school today, or I want to stay coming to school?
Man, you got to start early. And I use myself as an example. My mother ran a daycare preschool. But I never went to preschool because I would have had to go to work with my mama. Mm-hmm. So I never went. I went to my grandmother and played. When I went to school, I knew how to color, write my name. I knew all it, but I didn't understand school. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. So again, we got to catch a kid early and get them interested and involved in school. And a lot of it is on us as the educators. We can't. It's just like if you came into the league playing with Kobe and Shaq, you gonna expect every team to be like you playing with Kobe and Shaq. It ain't gonna be that. Like every kid not gonna be an honor student. Every kid not gonna get what you talking about like that. So as educators, we got to show a different type of patience and understand, that some kids, we're going to have to hard down. We're going to have to get in our bag and teach. Mm-hmm. And I look at it like when I was in the backyard shooting basketball by myself, I wasn't dreaming that I was hitting the game-winning shot on the last man on the bench. I was hitting the game-winning shot on Jordan. If I was in the backyard, I was dreaming I was hitting a home run off the number one pitcher in Major League Baseball. So as a teacher, why you got to come in there with that same attitude that you want the biggest challenge. You got to look and say, where's the kid that can't nobody control or can't nobody teach? Give them here and watch this. Don't nobody. Steve Kerr won a bunch of championships, but wasn't nobody dreaming about dunking on Steve Kerr. You dream about dunking on Jordan. So why the attitude change when you become a teacher? Or when you go into any job? When you say you want to be a doctor, you want to be a doctor. You want to find a cure for something. You want to be the doctor that saved the most lives in the ER. When you're a lawyer, you not dreaming about taking easy cases. You want to take the case that looked like you couldn't win and you won it. Because that's what the best do. So it's no different coming in education. And that's what I try to do. The kid can't nobody control. Hey, let's go in my office, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Now, it might be, the conversation might not be conventional, but we gonna come out of here with an understanding.
Okay.
Yeah, every kid, they just want somebody to listen to them, man, and it might take you 2 weeks to get that trust. It might take you 2 months to get that trust from the kid that you really gonna listen to them, but you can't give up. That's part of your job.
Okay. Now, one thing too, when I was younger, I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club when I was younger. I don't know, like from an extracurricular activity type place, because a lot of people talking about, okay, it's nothing for the kids to actually do.
That's a lie.
Talk
That's
about
a lie.
it, please.
I'm gonna tell you, like, and this is a sensitive subject with me, because like I said, I was up there, I'm up there now. For one, we got basketball, volleyball, we got track, we got tackle football. The Boys and Girls Club is back open up there at the Ben Johnson. It's other programs that we trying to create, but this the thing, man. When I was up there full time, bro, and again, Coach Warner, Coach Kevin Warner, and Blake Dotson, good people. Go up there, I need to go up there and talk to them, man. They ears are open, but man, we were actively riding through the projects looking for kids. And kids in the projects knew one thing: if they wanted to play basketball, football, run track, all they had to do was come find me. But people in this community will beat on you so much till, man, it'll make you withdraw from them. Like, people will cuss you out and threaten your life, and when you tell them, nah, you ain't gonna kill me, I'm gonna defend myself, they wanna go tell on you. So what happened, man, with a lot of stuff is just, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. It done been situations where kid come, parent, I don't have the money, don't worry about the money. I can't get the equipment, don't worry about it, we gonna get it. I don't get off till, don't worry about it, we gonna go get them, bring them to practice, we bring them home. Get to the game, this same parent, that kid played, the other kid played 15 plays, my kid only played 10. I ain't come down here for this. I ain't come down here to hear you. You know what I'm saying? And it is that type of stuff. People wear you out, man. Then everybody wants to tell you what to do. Nobody wants to help. You know, when I started, like, tackle football, we had 150 kids. For 150 kids, we got 10 coaches. Everybody got a daddy. Everybody got a mama. That's 300 people. I mean, I should be telling people now we ain't got no more room. But we 10 people with 150 kids.
That's a lot.
You know what I'm saying? So those people get wore out. They kids stop playing, so they like, hey.
And not only that, the coaches, they got their own kids.
Yeah, and man, but that's what happened with a lot of stuff. Like, people saying it's not programs. It might not be what you want, you know what I'm saying? But if we go get a music program, are you gonna sign your kids up? If we go get like Coach D Sanders at the Boys and Girls Club is one of the most beautiful people I ever met in my life. She loving, she caring, she gonna take care of your kids. That building ought to be busting at the seam with kids. It is not. So don't say ain't no after school program. When they got a bus, they go pick the kids up at school. You ain't signing them up. People want people to do everything for them. You want them to create the program, sign your kid up for you, pick your kid, like, man, y'all, we gotta stop it. And if it ain't no program, you create it. What you doing? Why one person, or why the same 5 people or the same 10 people gotta do the same thing every time? I'm supposed to be out the way. I've been in this department since I was 19. There's nobody there to take my spot. I willingly give it up. I want to give it up. I wish it was somebody young. Hey man, this how you do this, where I can sit back and watch them and be proud. I'm still here. I'm 44 years old. I don't want to be gone every weekend in the summer. I got my own kids. Where y'all at? So I'm calling them out. The mayor need to do this. The mayor, if he spend the money to create the program, are y'all gonna sign y'all kids up? No, they don't. The reason we had 150 kids playing football, because me and them 10 coaches was going to get them, paying for their stuff, taking them on. And I'm not trying to, front them, but that's what we had to do to make the program successful. I ain't got that energy or that time no more. Where y'all at? It's supposed to be, I done did what I can do in that recreation department. It's supposed to be somebody with some new ideas. But if I was trying to hug and hold on to that spot, saying it's mine and not letting everybody be trying to get me fired. And some people gonna get mad at me about this, I don't care. Like, man, we took some beatings, some verbal beatings up there behind people, man. They was unappreciative of what was being done. And it was a lot of people that was appreciative. Let me not say that, man.
Okay.
You know the negativity always louder and hurt more than the positive.
Always.
We gotta get off of it. Like, you the first person in negatives doing what you doing. If somebody else start doing it, they gonna automatically figure like they gotta hate on you. Why? Or if you don't tell them every secret, you wrong. No, man, who told you?
Nobody. I just did. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that ain't fair, man. We want everybody else to save us. No, what you doing? Get off your ass and do something. I'm tired.
Yeah, man. I mean, what are people? Where they at? And what they gonna do? But this brings me to my next subject. At the end of the day, it has to be a person, a figure that can lead and respect. Let's talk about the leadership aspect of this whole thing. What are your views on it? How do you feel about it?
As far as the leaders in negatives, I feel like 4 or 5 years ago, the people spoke and they said, we want to change and we want different people. And if you look at it, it's a new mayor, it's a new superintendent, a new police chief, a new sheriff, it's a new president at Northwestern. So, those people, they ran the election or they got appointed or they sat in the interview and killed it. So I don't like to be negative towards those people. Do I agree with everything they do? No, and there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with people, but we gotta understand the difference in somebody doing something we wouldn't do and somebody doing something wrong. If one of these leaders do something the way I wouldn't do it or do what I don't think should have been done, don't mean they wrong. If they was wrong, it's people that's gonna come get them. You know, you got attorney generals, feds, and all that. The people will come and get them. So, you know, my philosophy is let those people do what they gonna do because they ran their race. Long as they not doing nothing illegal, you know, they got the right, they earn the right to make their decision. I think in negatives where the problem in leadership happen, you have your elected officials or your people that's been appointed or hired. You have the citizens. Middle management in negatives is hurting. For years, the people in the middle that the leaders were gonna trust and the people were gonna trust were the pastors. But what happened, you had a group of people who said, pastors, y'all ain't got no, this ain't y'all business. Y'all don't need to be in this. And they wrestled that power away from the pastors. But, you know, when they wrestled it away, we as the people, we looking, the pastor was just talking to his church, advising them on what to do. These people wrestled that power away and they wanted to tell everybody what to do. And people like, nah, you ain't. Because if you don't do what they say, you stupid all of a sudden. You ain't got no sense because you won't do it the way they say do it. So we got a problem in the middle management. It's no between our leaders and the citizens. And you know, I don't know how to fix it. But again, we got people. That's why I don't try to accept no title. Being an assistant principal at Natchitoches Central pay me. Working for the city of Natchitoches pay me. And writing a book pay me.
How many? 3 books, right? How many books?
I've published one. I got 3 more that I'm waiting to publish. It's a.
Can you name those books for the people who don't know?
The first book I wrote was For the Birds. It's on Amazon, you know, Barnes and Nobles, wherever. I have part 2 of that book. I have another book. It's called Goody. It's a story about a young man struggling. He's an academic type of young man, but it's a struggle between academics and the streets. And then I have another book. It's kind of a love story, you know, or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, I have those 3 books. I gotta wait to publish them because that's a whole process. And even doing that taught me something because I went to people like, I'm a writer, I'm not an artist, I can't draw. Hey, you can draw, I'll pay you to draw the cover art for my book and you're gonna get credit. You know, somebody might see the book in the store, they might not give a damn about the book. They might like your artwork and boom. But people, even with the I'll pay you, that book was my dream, it wasn't theirs, they don't care. So people be saying they want opportunity, they lying. But back to the titles, like people get mad, like if I know, like we was talking and you say you're community active, I'm like nah, I don't want that title because people look at it and if you say you that, it's like you infringing on their territory. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, it can be more than one. I'm assistant principal at Natchitoches Central. He got 2 more. I'm not the only one. You know what I'm saying? So we in a barbershop now. It's a nice barbershop. This ain't the only one in Natchitoches. Ain't gotta tear this one down. You know, people going, but man, and we saw a lot of that at the end of the year. You know, a lot of back and forth about stuff that, you know, I don't feel like even really need to be argued about. It's not an argument. Let's fix it. You know, why we gotta argue about everything? But it's cause some people, that's what they live for. That's the only way they can get attention, man. So I don't have time to argue with people about stuff, about titles. Like, don't call me nothing. I'm just out here trying to help whoever I can help. You know what I'm saying? So I remember one of my homeboys said, "Oh, you a black active?" Nah, I told him I'm just black and active. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I don't have nothing negative to say about our leadership, man. Like, city ain't bankrupt, you know. Are we a booming metropolis? No, but, you know, we doing our part as the education system to get us there. And I feel like once we get all our schools up, like I said before, to A and B schools, and we get that booming, and these companies know they got a workforce because all these students graduating with honors, they're gonna want to come here. So I like, we blame too much on leadership. I don't care what they leading, they still one person. Chief of police, you need to solve the murders. He one person. What the hell you doing to solve them? That's like, and again, that's how I was raised. Stop talking about other people. What you doing? You calling in some information, you giving some tips. So, you know, makes people mad with that too.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm holding back what I'm saying. Like, you know, man, we gotta understand what a leader is. I can walk in NASA and say I'm a leader. What am I doing now? What I'm a lead? What I know by NASA? I can walk plans. I'm a leader in this blog and stuff. Man, what I'm gonna tell you? You know what I'm saying? Stop just because the loudest person ain't the smartest or ain't the leader. Like I'm not listening to nobody who never been elected, appointed, or hired to lead nothing. You ain't never been a line leader at school. You ain't leading me nowhere.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying those people don't have no knowledge, but you can't lead me.
Basically, you basically saying that the qualified leaders, the people who met the criteria to be a leader, are the ones that you would say, all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna respect them, and
yeah,
it's like if you a leader, man, you gonna rise to the top, no matter what nobody try to do you. People gonna see it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like all the churches and negatives.
Mm-hmm.
You say I'm a pastor, but nobody ever wanted you to lead their church. I'm gonna have to. I ain't gonna say you ain't, but I'm gonna have to question. I'm gonna have to look at that real hard. Or, you know, people running for office 7, 8 different times, and you never got picked, never got voted in. But you want to talk about other people. You want to talk about the people that did get voted in. That's not right. They did something. Oh, you cheated. Nah, ain't nobody cheat, man. They beat you, and the people thought they were more qualified. I'm not saying you can't question that person or that person never do nothing wrong, but I can't get on no internet bashing nobody, you know, that did something I couldn't do. I ain't gonna do that. You know, so.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I mean, overall, man, we've covered various topics, man.
Yeah.
What advice can you give to parents, students, anybody that's go see any clip? Because we didn't talk for a while, so they go see different segments of you, of what you're saying.
The main thing, put God first. If God for you, it don't matter what nobody say, nobody do. And I ain't gonna get into them stories. That's another time. But like I'm a witness. God gonna make it happen when you can't see a way. put God first. Stop listening to other people tell you what you can and can't do. If your heart tell you you can do it, man, follow your heart. Find a dream. Like, I don't care what it is, man. Just find a dream and a goal. And you ain't got to tell nobody. Just in your heart, want to do that so bad until it motivates you to get up every day. And parents, just talk to your kids. Be involved. Being involved ain't necessarily about buying them the shoes they want all the time. Just let them talk to you. Like, I'm going to say this, man. I hear people say, you're supposed to be their parent, not their friend. That's a lie. Who do kids tell all their secrets to? They friends. You better be their friend. You better be their first friend. You can be their parent and their friend. That's what helped kids understand. With friends, you got boundaries. I was friends with my mama. I'm friends with my daddy. But I knew I had to respect them. That taught me, even your friends, you got boundaries and certain stuff you can't say and do to them. Each individual friend. I had some friends, they ain't play no mama jokes. So that's being friends with your parents is how you learn to respect your friends in the world. Like, you ain't friends with your kids. Your kids can't crack a joke with you, can't share a laugh with you. Y'all can't sit and watch TV together. Nah, you better be their friend. Like, don't. That's some of the dumb stuff I ever heard.
I mean, I don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
So, but I've heard that don't be people. They so worried about being their kids' friend that want to be their parents. So you can actually be the parent and the friend.
Yeah, you got to. You better hope they come tell you all their secrets. Like my youngest daughter, she tell me stuff I don't want to hear, but I don't stop her because she's telling me stuff. And she'll, Daddy, can I tell you something? I'd be like, I know this finna be crazy. But I'm gonna let her tell me. So that one day when it's something serious, she gonna know she can talk to me. And like some of my best friends that I like talking to now are the people that helped raise me. I like talking to people older than me.
Yes.
Or some women.
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
You know, so
I agree.
Yeah, but like find that balance between being a parent and a friend so your kid can talk to you and share stuff with you and feel comfortable with you, and they'll want to chill with you rather than go and chill out in the streets.
Straight up.